February 17, 2003. Monday morning, 7 a.m. Detective Patrick Pays receives a call that will change his career forever. There's been a break-in at the Antwerp Diamond Center, the beating heart of the world's diamond trade. When he arrives at the vault 2 floors underground, he can't believe what he's seeing. The white-tiled floor of the vault was littered with diamonds, pearls, emeralds, rubies, gold, and silver. Empty velvet-lined jewelry cases, cardboard cigar boxes, and tin-clasped metal containers lay amid sparkling gemstones of every imaginable cut, color, clarity, and carat. Safe deposit boxes hang open, their contents dumped carelessly on the floor. Diamonds roll under his feet like marbles. The thieves left so much behind they couldn't carry it all. But what they took, that's the shocking part. Thieves stole loose diamonds, gold, silver, and other types of jewelry valued at more than $100 million. It took place in Antwerp, Belgium, during the weekend of 15 to 16 February 2003. Though arrests were made and time was served, most of the diamonds stolen remain unrecovered. $100 million. Gone. Vanished over a single weekend. The Antwerp Diamond Heist, dubbed the Heist of the Century, was the largest ever diamond heist and one of the largest robberies in history. But here's what makes this case extraordinary. The vault that was robbed was considered impenetrable. It was protected by multiple security mechanisms, including a lock with 100 million possible combinations, infrared heat detectors, a seismic sensor, Doppler radar, and a magnetic field. The building itself had a private security force and was located in the heavily guarded and monitored Antwerp Diamond District. 10 layers of security, armed guards, surveillance cameras everywhere, motion sensors, heat sensors, magnetic sensors, a 3-ton steel door with 100 million possible combinations. And someone had bypassed every single one. No alarms, no violence, no witnesses, just perfection. The mastermind? A charming Italian thief named Leonardo Notarbartolo, who spent 2.5 years planning the perfect crime. A man who rented an office in the very building he planned to rob. A man who walked past security guards every single day with a smile and a wave. And he almost got away with it. Almost. Because 22 years later, most of the diamonds are still missing. The truth about who really orchestrated the heist remains a mystery. And Leonardo Notarbartolo, now a free man, insists he was just a hired gun. This is the story of the heist of the century. A story of cunning, precision, and one catastrophic mistake that brought it all crashing down. To understand this heist, you need to understand Antwerp. Antwerp, Belgium, known as the diamond capital of the world, handles and distributes approximately 85% of all diamonds globally. Behind its beautiful scenery and wealthy tenants, Antwerp contains an extremely advanced network of vaults, distributors, and businesses that keep billions of dollars of stone moving annually. Since the Middle Ages, Antwerp has been the center of the world's diamond trade. Rough diamonds from Africa, Russia, and Canada flow through this Belgian city. Expert cutters and polishers transform rough stones into glittering gems. Dealers make multi-million-dollar handshake deals in Yiddish, Hebrew, and Dutch. And at the center of it all sits the Antwerp Diamond Center, a modern fortress built specifically to protect the world's most valuable gems. The thieves targeted a building called the Antwerp Diamond Center, which housed dozens of gem trading companies. The building had 3 blocks, A, B, and C. 2 stories below B block. Behind steel-reinforced concrete lies Diamond Center's famous vault. The vault holds 160 safe deposit boxes where diamond brokers can leave their gems while negotiating deals with jewelers. And before 2003, everyone believed it was impossible to rob. The crypt, equipped with a 3-ton steel door guarded by a combination lock capable of 100 million different combinations, external and internal cameras, light sensors, magnetic sensors, a seismic sensor, and hundreds of individually secured lockboxes, seemed impossible to conquer. But Leonardo Notarbartolo looked at that impossible vault and saw only one thing: a challenge. Leonardo Notarbartolo was born in Palermo, Sicily, in 1952, and by his admission, he became addicted to stealing from a young age. He sometimes traveled there to pawn off diamonds stolen back home in Italy. Having been a thief since the age of 8, his first victim was the milkman. Leonardo wasn't your typical thief. He was charming, sophisticated, multilingual. He spoke Italian, French, and Dutch fluently. He understood diamonds, how they were cut, how they were valued, how the trade worked. After years of petty thefts and picking locks, he began tracking jewelry salesmen around Italy to study their behavior and dealings. As a result, Leonardo started assembling a team of skilled thieves in his 30s, including lockpickers, alarm aces, safecrackers, and tunnel experts. Since all these men, including him, lived in and around Turin, the group became known as the School of Turin. The School of Turin. It sounds like an art academy, doesn't it? But this was no school for painters. They were members of a loose affiliation of Italian thieves called the School of Turin, La Scuola di Torino. Leonardo and his team of thieves participated in several robberies over the next several years. He would pose as a jeweler and be invited to offices, vaults, and workshops for inspection. He would purchase a few gemstones as tokens, only to empty their stocks in a week or month and vanish. It was the perfect con. Appears legitimate. Build trust. Study security. Then strike. Leonardo would travel to Antwerp, Belgium, twice every month to sell the stolen jewelry for cash. And it was during those trips to Antwerp that Leonardo began to notice something. The Diamond Center. The vault. The billions of dollars sitting just 2 floors underground. And he began to wonder, could it be done? Roughly 2 years before the night in question, Leonardo Notarbartolo took out a lease on an office in the Antwerp Diamond Center, located at 911 Schupstraat, in the heart of the city's diamond district. Leonardo Notarbartolo rented an office in the Antwerp Diamond Center building at 911 Schupstraat in the Antwerp Diamond District. He rented a sparsely furnished office for approximately $700 per month in the Diamond Center 2.5 years prior to the robbery. Part of the appeal of this rental was that it included a safe deposit box located in the vault beneath the building. Think about that. For $700 a month, Notarbartolo got an office, a legitimate business presence, and, most importantly, direct access to the vault he planned to rob. Here, he posed as a multilingual gem importer from Italy and scheduled meetings with numerous established dealers in the area. Of course, Notarbartolo was aware that renting at the Antwerp Diamond Center automatically grants occupiers access to a safe deposit box in the vault beneath the building. No one else in the building, however, realized a notorious thief had just gained access to the beating heart of Antwerp's jewel district. For 2.5 years, Leonardo played the part perfectly. He showed up to work. He met with dealers. He bought and sold small amounts of diamonds. He became a familiar face, someone the security guards recognized and trusted. But while everyone thought he was building a business, Leonardo was doing something else entirely. Over the course of the first 18 months he spent at the Antwerp Diamond Center, Notarbartolo subtly tried and tested several techniques to default the vault's security system. He sometimes traveled there to pawn off diamonds stolen back home in Italy. Having been a thief since the age of 8, his first victim was the milkman. While law enforcement believes that Notarbartolo was the ringleader, he has said that an unnamed diamond dealer recruited him. He studied guard rotations. He memorized camera positions. In the doc, Notarbartolo claims he hid a camera inside a fire extinguisher, which enabled him to see what combination was inside. Every detail, every vulnerability, every weakness in the system. And when he had all the information he needed, he made a call to Italy. It was time to assemble the team. In addition to Notarbartolo, the team consisted of at least 4 other members, whom Notarbartolo gave aliases during interviews, though he refused to specify whom each alias represented. Leonardo called them by code names, and each one had a specific role. Led by Leonardo Notarbartolo, the men came to be known as the School of Turin, who operated under the aliases of Speedy, the Monster, the Genius, and the King of Keys. Speedy, a longtime friend and partner of Notarbartolo's, Speedy was in charge of updating Notarbartolo on the team's progress throughout the heist and remained in constant contact with him to ensure a swift escape. Belgian police believe this to be Pietro Tavano, an anxious, paranoid man and a childhood friend of Notarbartolo. The Monster, an expert lockpicker, electrician, mechanic, and driver who also boasted impressive physical strength, according to Notarbartolo. Belgian police believe this is Ferdinando Finotto, a tall, muscular man with renowned lockpicking skills. The Genius, Elio Denorio, a specialist in alarm systems known to be linked to a series of robberies. The Alarm Expert, the man who could bypass electronic security systems that stumped everyone else. The King of Keys, described as an older man and one of the best key forgers in the world, whose true identity remains unknown. The King of Keys, the only member to have never been sentenced to prison for the heist, remains unknown. To this day, no one knows who he was. Some believe he never existed, that Leonardo invented him to protect someone. Others think he was the true mastermind, hiding in plain sight. 5 men, each a specialist, each essential to the plan. And now, after 2.5 years of preparation, they were ready. While the center was heavily guarded on the weekdays, there was less security on the weekends. That was the vulnerability. During the week, the Diamond Center was a fortress. But on weekends, tenants could enter freely. No extra screening. Just badge in and go. The weekend time allotment would allow the group of thieves ample time to carry out the heist before everyone returned for the business week. They chose February 14th, 2003, Valentine's Day weekend. February 15th, 2003, Notarbartolo parked his car underground, rode the elevator to his office and patiently waited for the others. Notarbartolo reportedly remained in the vault that night when the security doors closed automatically at 7 p.m. Think about that. Leonardo hid inside the building before it locked down for the weekend. He stayed there, in the dark, in silence, waiting for his team. Several hours later, 3 other members gained access via the elevator. Now the real work began. First, the sensors. The motion detector at the foot of the elevator had been disabled with spray silicone, and the vault's light detector had been rendered useless with a simple piece of tape. Stolen shows thieves covering motion sensors with hairspray, light sensors with black duct tape, and cameras with black plastic bags. Hairspray, duct tape, plastic bags. Not exactly high-tech equipment, but it worked. The vault's magnetic lock, which relied on a magnetic field between 2 plates to trigger an alarm if broken, was bypassed by carefully removing the bottom portion of the screws securing the plates while the magnetic field was inactive earlier that week and using adhesive tape to keep them in place. During the heist, they used a custom aluminum plate to keep the plates together and so maintain the magnetic field when opening the vault door. To avoid detection by the infrared sensor in the vault, a thief used a polystyrene shield to block his thermal signature and secured the shield in front of the sensor. One by one, they neutralized every security system. The heat sensors, the motion detectors, the cameras, the magnetic field. And then came the final obstacle, the vault door itself. The vault itself, however, was protected by a dual lock system, a combination and a key lock, and 2 feet of reinforced steel. Duplicates of the key had been made in advance, but the combination lock was a bit more difficult, and we still don't know how they cracked it. For me, the biggest mystery is, how did they get past that combination lock? Selby says, a lock with 100 million possible combinations. That's not something you can guess. That's not something you can crack in a few hours. Leonardo claimed he filmed the combination using a hidden camera. Others think he had inside help. We may never know the truth. But somehow, impossibly, they got it open. They turned off the lights, then opened the vault door. Next, they used a crowbar to pry open the day gate. They were in. Once inside, the thieves used a custom-made, hand-cranked device to break open 109 of the 189 safe deposit boxes, each equipped with both a unique key lock and a 3-letter combination lock. 109 boxes, each with its own key and combination, each filled with diamonds, gold, jewelry, cash. The reason 37 boxes were left untouched is because the robbers were unable to carry any more diamonds. They worked methodically, opening boxes, dumping contents into bags, sorting through gems, taking only what they could carry. 4 hours, they worked in silence in the darkness 2 floors below the streets of Antwerp. And when they were done, they had more wealth in their hands than most people see in 10 lifetimes. When the thieves were done, they stole security tape so that no one could see them committing a crime. One final touch of brilliance. No footage. No evidence. Nothing for the police to work with. The School of Turin's exit was as meticulously planned as their entrance. Long before entering the Diamond Center, the school had fabricated their own master key which gave them access to every door in the Antwerp Diamond Center. That same handmade key gave Notarbartolo and the remainder of the crew access to the underground garage, which had an exit route that put them a full block outside the gated, guarded, and contained Diamond Center. With the gems and diamonds successfully retrieved, the group split, with some returning to Notarbartolo's apartment in Antwerp and others driving straight to Italy, where the group was meant to reconvene to divvy up the goods. After stopping at Leonardo's apartment to divvy up the take, the crew wisely decided to leave town. They'd done it. The impossible heist. The crime of the century. Now all they had to do was disappear. But here's where everything fell apart. In a wooded area about 30 miles or so outside of the city, the School of Turin disposed of some of the less damning evidence by tossing bags into a secluded spot, their final task before heading home. All Notarbartolo and Speedy had to do was dump incriminating evidence near the E19 motorway between Antwerp and Brussels, and they would be on their way too. They thought they were being smart. Get rid of anything that could link them to the crime. Gloves, receipts, packaging, evidence. But they made one catastrophic mistake. Unfortunately, the particular patch of ground they chose was owned by August van Camp, a local man with a penchant for litter picking. August van Camp was obsessed with people littering on his property. He patrolled his land regularly, picking up trash, trying to identify who was dumping garbage near the highway. The next morning, the landowner, August van Camp, discovered the discarded items and notified the police. Among the debris were items linked directly to Notarbartolo, providing investigators with a critical lead. Among the debris, he found a smattering of emeralds, a supermarket receipt and a half-eaten salami sandwich, and quickly called the police to report fly tipping, as he apparently did on a regular basis. A half-eaten salami sandwich. That's what brought down the heist of the century. Certainly without thought, one item had been placed in that bag which proved to be rather damning, and more than certainly avoidable. As the school of Turin was making their way casually out of Antwerp with approximately 100 million euros, Leonardo was eating a salami sandwich. Unfortunately for Leonardo, he wasn't as hungry as he thought he was when purchasing the sandwich. Unwilling to finish it, he simply tossed the sandwich into the bag with the other disposable items. That bag, which was turned over to the police by the owner of the not-so-secluded bit of land, was set to be processed by forensic teams which were able to extract a sample of Leonardo's DNA from a sandwich. DNA. From a sandwich. The perfect crime, undone by lunch. But there was more in those trash bags. Inside the trash were tiny emeralds. There was a supermarket receipt, and police were able to go to the store and look at security footage to identify the person ringing up the listed items, Ferdinando Finotto, someone police had been looking for in connection to a different robbery. There was a piece of paper identifying Elio Denorio, an alarm specialist, authorizing him to do security work for Leonardo Notarbartolo, who had a safe deposit box at the Antwerp Center. Every piece of evidence led back to Leonardo Notarbartolo. The police now knew exactly who they were looking for. Turin authorities told Antwerp authorities about the so-called School of Turin, a network of criminals in the area. Then, the building manager of the Antwerp Diamond Center was able to point him out for authorities on security footage. Notarbartolo's safe deposit box was one of the safe deposit boxes that had not been broken into, which was suspicious. Of course his box wasn't broken into. He was the thief. Nearly a week after the heist, on February 21st, Notarbartolo was caught when he returned to the scene of the heist to enter the building with his badge so that it didn't look like he was the only tenant who didn't go into the building after the heist. Detectives from Antwerp's Diamond Detective Squad arrested him when he returned to the Antwerp Diamond Center 5 days after the heist, February 21st. He walked right into their trap. The building security team had already been fielding questions from authorities about him for days, so they recognized him immediately when he showed up. The building manager called the police, and then stopped Notarbartolo at the door, taking his ear off until the police arrived and arrested him. Game over. The arrests came quickly after that. Furthermore, when the police raided Leonardo's Turin apartment, they found 17 polished diamonds attached to certificates from the Diamond Center. Later, marked $100 bills belonging to vault holders at the Diamond Center were discovered at Ferdinando Finotto's girlfriend's home. He, Pietro Tavano, and Elio Denorio were subsequently arrested and handed 5-year prison terms. Tavano, Denorio, and Finotto each got 5 years in prison. But Leonardo, he got the harshest sentence. Notarbartolo was found guilty of orchestrating the heist. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison by the Court of Appeal of Antwerp in 2005, but was released on parole in 2009. In 2005, he was sentenced to 10 years behind bars. In 2009, Leonardo Notarbartolo was released on parole after serving 4 years of his sentence. But the story doesn't end there. In 2011, a European arrest warrant was issued against him after he was found to have violated his parole conditions. One of these conditions was that he needed to compensate the victims of the heist, which he never did. After a European arrest warrant was issued against him in 2011, Leonardo was arrested again in January 2013 at the Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. As a consequence, he was arrested again in 2013 at the Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris during a layover from the United States to Turin, and was made to serve the remainder of his prison sentence until 2017. Leonardo Notarbartolo served his time, paid his debt to society, and in 2017, he walked out of prison a free man. But the diamonds? They're still missing. Though arrests were made and time was served, most of the diamonds stolen remain unrecovered. Although most thieves were caught, the diamonds have never been found. $100 million in diamonds, gold, jewelry, cash, all of it, gone. Where did it go? That's the mystery that haunts this case. Notarbartolo claimed in an interview with Wired magazine that a diamond merchant hired them for the heist. He claims that they actually stole approximately 18 million euros, $20 million, worth of loot, and that the robbery was part of an insurance fraud. According to Leonardo's story, he was just a hired gun. An unnamed diamond dealer approached him years before the heist and offered him 100,000 euros to rob the vault. The dealer wanted to inflate insurance claims, report $100 million stolen when only $20 million was actually taken. Everyone makes money. Classic insurance fraud. During his trial, Notarbartolo claimed that the heist had been orchestrated by a Jewish diamond dealer and that he had been hired to carry out the theft as part of an insurance fraud scheme. He insisted that the actual value of the stolen goods was closer to $20 million, not the $100 million reported. However, these claims were never substantiated, and the true extent of the stolen loot remains a matter of speculation. But there's a problem with Leonardo's story. Many traders opted out of insurance due to the facility's reputed impregnability, with multiple layers of security including armed guards and surveillance, leading to only a fraction of the stolen goods being insured. The vault wasn't insured. Most of the diamond dealers didn't have insurance either. They trusted the security system. So the insurance fraud theory doesn't really make sense. Due to the fact that the vault itself was uninsured, as the insurance company realized the security flaws and would have never given it an insurance policy, there was actually very little insurance money involved. This, along with other pieces of evidence, casts doubt on his story. Experts do not consider Notarbartolo's account plausible. So if it wasn't insurance fraud, what was it? Some believe Leonardo is still protecting someone. Italian authorities have also pinned potential blame on Notarbartolo's cousin Benedetto Capizzi, an alleged high-ranking member of the Sicilian Mafia. Was the Sicilian Mafia involved? Did they order the heist? Did they take the diamonds? We may never know. What we do know is that the King of Keys, the mysterious fifth member of the team, was never caught, never identified, never arrested. The true identity of the King of Keys, the only member to have never been sentenced to prison for the heist, remains unknown. Some believe he was the real mastermind, the person pulling the strings, the one who walked away with everything. So where is Leonardo Notarbartolo now? According to Heist of the Century, he now lives with his wife in the countryside near Turin and runs a small business making wood pellets typically used for fireplaces. Since his return from prison, Leonardo has seemingly been residing in his home in Givino, a commune in Turin, Italy. He is in his 70s, mostly prefers to lead a private life nowadays, and supposedly owns and runs a small jewelry factory. Leonardo Notarbartolo, the man who pulled off the heist of the century, now makes wood pellets for fireplaces in the Italian countryside. He's in his 70s, married, quiet, living a simple life, and has never led police to the diamonds. Now, Notarbartolo is thought to live in the countryside outside Turin with his wife, running a wood pellet business. As a key interviewee throughout the new Netflix documentary, he seems to have no remorse. "I've always wanted to be part of something like this. We felt proud of doing something so strong and powerful." No remorse, no regrets, just pride. In 2025, Netflix released a documentary called Stolen, Heist of the Century. And for the first time, Leonardo Notarbartolo agreed to speak on camera about the heist. The robber, Leonardo Notarbartolo, who had an office in the building he stole from, speaks on camera for the first time about his role in the theft of about $100 million worth of diamonds in Antwerp, Belgium, over the weekend of February 15, 2003. He tells his side of the story. He explains how they did it. He defends his actions. But he still won't say where the diamonds are. In a 2016 interview, Leonardo stated, "Do you know what my dream is? Not at all the Diamond Center. It's having a full pack of cigarettes filled with diamonds. If I really had it, I'd retire to private life. I've always been a thief, and I never stopped, except for some breaks. A pack of cigarettes full of diamonds, just that. A pack of cigarettes full of diamonds. That's all he wants. But does he have them? Did he hide them somewhere? Did the mysterious King of Keys take everything? We'll probably never know." 22 years later, The Antwerp Diamond Heist remains one of the most fascinating unsolved mysteries in criminal history. The stolen loot has mostly never been recovered, and many questions about the heist's planning, execution, and true leadership remain a mystery. Was Leonardo Notarbartolo the mastermind? Or was he telling the truth about being hired by someone else? Who was the King of Keys? Why was he never caught? Where are the diamonds? Were they sold? Hidden? Are they sitting in a vault somewhere, waiting to be discovered? Was the Sicilian mafia involved? Did Benedetto Capizzi orchestrate everything from behind the scenes? And the biggest question of all, how did they crack that combination lock? We still don't know how they cracked it. For me, the biggest mystery is, how did they get past that combination lock? Selby says, some mysteries have answers. Some crimes get solved. Some stolen treasures come home. But not this one. The Antwerp Diamond Heist stands as a monument to the perfect crime. A heist so well planned, so brilliantly executed, that even getting caught couldn't undo it. Leonardo Notarbartolo went to prison. He served his time. He paid his debt. But somewhere out there, in a safe deposit box, in a warehouse, buried in a field, hidden in a wall, sits $100 million in diamonds that have been missing for 22 years. The bandits, members of a group of professional thieves known as the School of Turin, used cunning in lieu of violence, successfully evading security cameras, thwarting an array of electronic sensors, and penetrating a vault protected by a double-locked foot-thick steel door. They didn't hurt anyone. They didn't threaten anyone. They simply outsmarted the world's most sophisticated security system. And they got away with it. The heist of the century. Still unsolved. Still mysterious. Still perfect. What do you think happened to the Antwerp diamonds? Do you believe Leonardo's story about being hired by a diamond dealer? Or was he the mastermind all along? Who was the King of Keys? And where are the diamonds now, 22 years later? Drop your theories in the comments below. Some crimes are meant to be solved. Some mysteries are meant to have answers. But maybe, just maybe, the School of Turin pulled off the one thing every thief dreams of, the perfect crime. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most fascinating heists, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more high-stakes true crime cold cases. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our next investigation. The diamonds are out there, somewhere, and someone knows where.